Yes, the countdown is upon us. Just 4 days away from the single most anticipated time of the year. Don't forget the extra serving you get this year, as the official public holiday for Christmas is Monday, December 26. We here at the Jamaica Information Service want to extend to you, our amazing audience, a peaceful and joyful season as we thank you for joining us all year long. I'm your host, Theodore Henry, ready to take you through yet another interesting Wednesday edition of Jamaica Magazine. In today's show, we get festive about our environment, plus more safety tips for the season. We'll be right back after this quick break.
How many more must die because of reckless drivers? How fast is too fast? Make we take time, no man. Obey the rules of the road. Drive with care.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, December 21, 2022. Jamaica's 2022-2023 winter tourist season is off to a booming start, recording over 40,000 visitors since the season kicked off on December 15. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett reveals that there were 37,000 stopover and 5,000 cruise visitors in just the first weekend of the season. That includes more than 11,000 stopover visitors arriving on approximately 61 flights at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay on December 17, making it the biggest number recorded in a single day. Revealing that forward bookings for the rest of the season are equally strong, Minister Bartlett says he is satisfied that the tourism sector has effectively recovered and the market is responding strongly to Jamaica. He stresses that the strong inflow of visitors is the fruit of painstaking work on the part of tourism stakeholders. Looking ahead, the minister says Jamaica is still set to secure a record $1.4 billion in tourism earnings for the winter tourist season. The projected earnings are based on 1.3 million air seats that have been secured for the period, along with the full recovery of cruise shipping. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced a $50 million incentive fund to offer rewards for information leading to the arrest of persons planning organized crime and gang violence, particularly over the Christmas holiday season. Mr. Holness made the announcement during a function in St. Anne on Monday. He revealed that police intelligence indicated that gangs were planning to rob delivery trucks, supermarkets, and other business establishments during the holidays. The Prime Minister is therefore urging persons with information on these planned criminal activities to come forward. He assures that once the information proves useful, those individuals will be rewarded.
Our intelligence is picking it up, and we are moving in on them. Slowly but surely we are getting them. But we think that the process could be assisted greatly if the people in the country would share intelligence with the police. Tell us. And sometimes there needs to be a little reward. We want to get people who are involved in contract killings, people who are planning to hijack stocks and goods in transit, and people who are planning to rob supermarkets during the Christmas season and other business establishments.
Government's new social housing program, NSHP, has provided two sisters with new homes, simultaneously paving the way for construction of a museum in honor of Jamaica's first national hero, Marcus Garvey. Sisters Jacinth and Carla Johnson were overcome with emotion when they received the keys to their new houses in Seville Heights, St. Anne from Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Monday. The two-bedroom houses were each built at a cost of approximately $8 million. Their construction was done in collaboration with the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, JNHT, to facilitate the relocation of the Johnson sisters who occupied the boyhood home of the national hero. Prime Minister Holness says that while the housing developments did not fit all the standard criteria under the NSHP, special arrangements were made to have the units constructed as a project of national interest.
Marcus Garvey deserves a first-class museum that reflects his vision, his world outlook. He really must develop something that is befitting of Marcus Garvey. So we are one step closer, and the new social housing program is facilitating these steps.
Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, says that with the relocation of the occupants of Garvey's boyhood home, the government will now take full possession of the property and move towards creating the museum.
This has been made possible through the cooperation of two of the Johnson sisters. Today, we can celebrate with them as they, as part of the process, are able to own their own home.
The Black River Hospital has received $1 million worth of equipment and medical supplies to support its healthcare services. The items were donated by Ernie and Jacqueline Muirhead, owners of the Treasure Beach Inn and Bar in St. Elizabeth. The overseas-based couple made the donation recently, fulfilling a commitment they made after seeing that there was a shortage of critical medical equipment at the South Coast Hospital. The couple says they will continue their efforts to help, even as they encourage others to similarly assist. Chief Executive Officer of the hospital, Diana Brown Miller, says the donation, which includes 2 vital signs monitors, are not only much needed, but will also enhance the delivery of services at the facility. And finally, Jamaicans are being urged to not abandon their loved ones at hospitals during the Christmas holiday. Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton made the appeal recently. He says it is a common practice for persons to leave their elderly or sick relatives at hospital so they can have a hassle-free Christmas. These patients are then added to the social welfare services, diverting resources from the hospital's regular medical responsibilities.
We have to feed them. They take up a bed. The doctors still have to examine them. They need attention. And really, it deprives those who really need the attention because they're genuinely ill.
Dr. Tufton insists that although the Public Health Act does not allow for these patients to be forcefully removed, hospitals should not be seen as a daycare service. Furthermore, he asserts that the practice of persons abandoning their relatives at hospital is not in keeping with the spirit of the season.
So I want to make an appeal again to the public. Make some alternative arrangement. The truth is, many of these persons have been good to you in there because more often than not, they are senior citizens who may have lived their lives supporting those who now are responsible for them. And that kind of treatment betrays, I think, the responsibility that you have.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching. We're back with another round of safety tips, this time for our drivers. Here are a few pointers to keep handy as you get around this busy season. Number 1, park in safe designated parking areas, preferably with security guards and surveillance cameras. Number 2, avoid leaving valuable items on your car seat for potential thieves to see. Number 3, before entering your car, check to see if there are any unauthorized persons hiding in it or suspicious persons approaching from the outside. Number 4, once inside your car, lock the doors and move off before rolling down your windows. Number 5, if you are involved in a minor accident in an area where you feel unsafe, drive to the nearest police station and dial 119 while you're on your way. Do remember to use these tips as you travel during the holidays. We wish you and your family a safe and joyful holiday.
Do not leave valuables such as gifts, laptops, and cell phones in plain view in your car. If you have to leave these items in the vehicle, put them in the trunk. This will decrease the likelihood of a car break-in.
The new Road Traffic Act goes into effect in February 2023 as the government is focused on transforming Jamaica's road safety culture and reducing the high road fatalities. Under the new legislation, motor vehicles with a tire tread depth of below 1.6 millimeters will not be allowed on the roads. Learn more about the role of tires in road safety in this next feature.
I have absolutely no idea what this is or what it's even used for. But today on Autospot, I'm going to be learning all about tires, and who knows, I might even end up changing one myself.
A tire is a ring-shaped component that surrounds the rim, which helps to cushion the road feel and offer traction and stability of the vehicle. You have all-purpose tires, which can use in all terrain. You have wet tires. For wet tires, it's for like wet road condition. You can't use a dry tire in the wet season. You get slippage. For the tire to be completely functional, you need the rim, you need air to be inflated in the tire to get it to the correct air pressure so that it's suitable for road condition. A cold tire is when the temperature inside the tire is reduced to like normal road temperature. At that time is the correct time to check the air pressure within the tire to give you an accurate reading. For the hot tires now is when you're driving on the road for a long duration of time and the heat inside the tire builds up and increases the pressure inside the tire. Tire inflation is the pressure inside the tire, which can be in kilopascal, bars, or PSI. There's an instrument called the tire pressure gauge, which I have here with me. You use to take the tire pressure. I can demonstrate for you. First, we'll have to remove the dust cap from off the tire. Place the tire pressure gauge on the tire valve, and it automatically push out the tire pressure gauge and give you the correct reading. The tire normally has a manufacture date on the side. From that date in which the tire was produced, you can know when the tire needs to be changed. Within 4 to 6 years of the manufacture date, the tire is due for replacement.
But what if I'm on the road and I have a flat tire, what do I do?
Okay. The first step is to park the vehicle in a secure location, flat surface. Pull up the emergency handbrake, ensure that the vehicle don't run back or anything. Then you gather your tools, including a jack, lug tool for the job. Alright. Here you have the lug. You're gonna place the lug tool on that, ensure that the correct lug tool is fit perfectly, and you push it down in the anti-clockwise position.
Okay.
And you do that for all 5 lugs.
Okay, and it's usually 5 lugs?
No, some vehicles carry 4, some carry 5, some carry 6. But for this application, it's 5.
Okay. So what else do you do after that?
After you remove your lugs, you remove the complete wheel and you have it all for yourself. Then you go for your spare and place it back on here and screw on back. You tighten back your lugs.
Alright, so this is what you use to tighten it back?
Yeah, this is the lug tool.
So you're going in the other direction?
Yeah, clockwise. Turning. And you always tighten diagonal. Right, you tighten in the clockwise direction.
So which one? Which one you tighten first?
It can be anyone, but you have to tighten it diagonal. This, then this, and this. Yeah. Cross and cross. So the tire go on, the wheel go on even. And then let down the vehicle, and then you finally torque the lugs to make sure that they are correctly tight.
Where do we usually find the spare tires?
Alright, depending on the vehicle type, sometimes the spare is under the vehicle and the back of the trunk or inside the trunk.
So it's not as simple as it seems, but it's clearly doable. It's all in a day's work, well, at least for a newbie like me. But really it should take about 10 to 15 minutes to change. I can promise you there's so much value in learning to get the job done. I certainly feel accomplished.
We roll over to another side of protection, and this time it's our environment. All year, and especially during the festive season, the call is upon us to dispose of our garbage properly, recycle our waste, and preserve the natural beauty of our island through activities such as planting a tree. In this next feature, we look at the vital role of our watersheds.
Jamaica, the land of wood and water. Preserving the rich history of our island's natural bounty is centered on the core ideal of sustainability. So, with every precious drop of rainfall harvested into the beautiful canopy of the island, increasing the urgency to safeguard our water sources is everyone's responsibility. An area of land that allows for the drainage of rainwater into a common place like a pond or river is known as a watershed. Now, you may live near a river or drink the water from a bottle, but how much do you know about watersheds and their life-giving role? There are over 100 rivers making up Jamaica's watersheds. These rivers are critical resources to the ecosystem of the land, while empowering our economy. The National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA manages Jamaica's 26 watershed management units WMUs in partnership with key governmental agencies such as the Rural Agricultural Development Authority RADA, the Forestry Department, the Water Resources Authority and other partners. There is one major factor to note in the protection of watersheds, and it's the delicate balance of the communities who earn a living from these areas through agriculture.
So we try to take a bottom-up approach to watershed management. Now that will involve liaising with the communities, getting their inputs prior to going into any given watershed with any intervention. You have to do what we consider to be an assessment of the needs of the community, separate and apart from an assessment of the needs of the watershed prior to going in and doing our interventions.
This approach forms part of the integrated watershed and coastal area management model, which takes into consideration the community's views. Under the Watersheds Protection Act of 1963, watershed areas are declared and regulated to conserve the water resources, while allowing residents to gain from popular land economic activities such as farming.
You do have complementary acts that would speak to watershed management. So you have, for example, the RADA Act of 1990 that will allow for the use of extension services, which translate into watershed management as the use of sustainable land management practices with the farmers.
There are 7 other pieces of legislation that support the Major Watersheds Protection Act. Finding the balance between benefiting from the resources in watersheds and preventing its degradation is continuous work by the environmental authorities. In 2015, a $3.9 million Yalas Hope Watershed Restoration Project was launched as a joint initiative between the government and the Inter-American Development Bank (IDB). The Yalas and Hope River watershed supply 40% of the drinking water in the densely populated urban parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew.
We would have trained under that project over 5,000 farmers in sustainable land management. And then we would have also did quite a number of studies. We'd have done some replanting in the area. We'd have replanted over 500 hectares.
A major initiative from the Yalas Hope River Restoration Project was the use of a Payment for Ecosystem Services scheme, designed to give an incentive to farmers who rely less on the watersheds.
At the end of that project, we would have, through modeling, showed that we have seen a reduction in about 8% of sediments coming down out of that watershed, and that's a conservative estimate. It goes up to 17% when you factor in the interventions that were done by our partners in these watersheds.
NEPA also established a Yalas and Hope River Watershed Management Committee to ensure that these results continue. Jamaica's international ranking as a strong and actions-based drive of environmental protection is steadily growing. A Jamaican Path from Hills to Ocean project is the latest initiative to restore 3 major watersheds across the island in the next 5 years. The $1.05 billion Jamaican dollar project is a joint partnership between the government and the European Union, executed by the Planning Institute of Jamaica in support of NEPA and RADA.
So the rapid ecological assessment is expected to inform some of the project activities that will help with the RADA-led components in identifying some areas that will be prioritized for intervention, and those priority will be for trainings for farmers and other techniques that would help with the overall watershed management. The Cassiton Botanical Garden is one particular location within one of the watershed management units that would benefit mostly from some of these activities.
Work will also be done on 2 wetland ecosystems, Winds Morass in Trelawney and the Mason River Protected Area on the border of St. Ann and Clarendon.
And those activities would help with the overall preservation and conservation of those 2 wetland areas to stem or kind of address some of the challenges we are currently facing with issues of encroachment or solid waste deposits, and also the general sensitization through the use of signage and public education.
The project will also flow into the protection of Jamaica's marine life.
So the assessment of seagrass, the health and distribution of seagrass beds within the Ocherius Marine Park and the Helsha Half Moon Bay area will also be assessed, so we can see if the activities implemented over the 5-year period would have helped with the health or the general health of the marine environment in these areas.
Don't waste water. Turn on your tap at half blast. Plant a tree. The more, the better. Do not litter. Proper waste disposal prevents your garbage from getting into our rivers and streams. Be environmentally friendly. Get involved and help protect the earth. The work to protect our watersheds aligns with Jamaica's signatory to the Paris Agreement on Climate Change to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Equivalently, our Vision 2030 national plan also prioritizes balancing sustainable use of the environment and reducing poverty. Through climate-smart steps to better use the lands and the hills of our watersheds and reduce the degradation of our coastlines, the value of protecting Jamaica's watersheds today will pay the price for securing the future of the island.
We close out today's show with another good practice tip for you. You will be sure to find this one useful before you make another trip to discard all those holiday decorations and food waste in the garbage bin.
The initiative is fairly good because at the moment currently we don't have enough disposals in Bethel Street. So I find the initiative very good and I do appreciate it, and I would like to say thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing other great things from the company.
We are here in Manchester on Bethel Street. We have launched a program called Drum at the Gate. The purpose of this program is to encourage residents that it's important for them to containerize their garbage properly.
In this community, we issued 80 bins today, and I just want to thank the Grace Kennedy and the EdgeChem group that would have partnered with us to donate drums. We are issuing drums to residents so that they can containerize their garbage properly and to reduce the time it takes for our workers to be held in the environment cleaning garbage. We expect to see greater efficiency and turnaround time when we have residents containerizing garbage in these densely populated areas. So the residents are happy for this initiative, and we expect to replicate same across the island. We'll do it in phases. We only start in Mandeville today, but there are a number of communities that we'll be doing.
This project is the safety of our workers. Just recently, one of our sanitation workers, they were putting together the garbage in Clarendon, and an eagle took him recently. Now we are saying that we want to ensure the safety of our workers. Number two, we want to ensure that our schedule, they are completed on a timely basis. So the time it takes us to pull the garbage together and to pack it up, put it in the truck, we are losing time.
When the garbage is thrown all over the place, it creates an awful sight and damages the aesthetic of the community. People want clean surroundings. So I encourage the people of Bethel Street and surrounding areas in Greendale to use these drums as we prescribe them to be used. The stress that it put on our crew when they have to come and clean up instead of just taking up a drum, emptying it and moving. We want to move from your gate as quickly as possible. We have a lot of places to cover. Sometimes the one truck is doing several communities, 10 communities, 20 communities. The more back down that truck gets, the less opportunity we have to go to the other community. So the turnaround time is affected, and that put a problem on us right across. So we're giving you a drum, and we plan to come for the drum every Wednesday. We'll come for the drum. So it's not a drum that will create any mosquitoes for you, because we bore the buttons of the drum, so there won't be any mosquitoes also any problem, right? Do I have your permission to leave a drum? Yes, sir. All right.
I feel good and happy about it, knowing that my city will keep clean and nice.
We love what go on, because right now, you see this rubbish thing here, it'll get to me, and I get to the community at Greenville, Bethel Street. Whole heap of rubbish on the roadside more time. And here what go on now. You see what the item do? Right now with them drum here, are the best thing ever. Cause if the rubbish truck no come, a dog come jar where the rubbish them. Pay things in our lane, pay things in our road. So what we no do the right thing we no do. I love this.
If a man see a place clean, he think twice. But if he come and he see 3 bottles throw down there, him not think twice again, you know. Him believes he can throw it back there. So it creates a dump. When the rain falls, the water, when naturally I run and I look somewhere to go, carry the bottle with it. When it go down in that level there is a little area where the water go through. But the buckle too big to go through, so the buckle stop. And then it creates a blockage. When the water gets blocked up, because of how water behave, the water rise and people place flood out. Sometimes the couple drinks bottle, and the couple food box, and the couple juice box that cause a major flooding because it block up a waterway. And me and your neighbor get flood out.
Compliments of the season. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another informative edition of the latest news and interesting features. It's our pleasure to keep you informed. Send us your feedback on today's show or any of our programs via email at jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. You can also find more content on our website at jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Theodore Henry, wishing you a season of love.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.